you. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember this
This is
one.
Mary Com. That's you, my daughter. Maya. That's us. And,
Of
that's
course,
the
sorry.
question.
That's
Teri
amazing.
Meri Kahani, I think
Yes,
it was.
yes, I know.
What's Your Rashi I have in here as well. I have Aifa. And I've always, like, this was Tiff, of course. This is her first premiere at Toronto International Film
What film is that?
God, I don't
What's Your
even
Rashi,
know.
was it?
You know what?
Yeah,
I think
what's
I
your
Yeah, this was
understand.
what's your Rashi time.
Right. Anyway, so it's funny, right? Because
Amazing,
people
Mohit.
stop and ask me all the time about you because you're also one of the most photogenic people in the world. So every chance I've ever had to interview you, I've taken a picture of, and
That's great.
and I'm glad because if there's a Toronto chapter of your biography, it's definitely going to be. It's going to have to run through me. But that being said. Looking through all that, the access you've been able to do, all the different things you do, everyone's asking you about why this 3-year gap. There's no 3-year gap, in my opinion. You're the hardest working person that.
3-year gap. I think what they mean is from Bollywood.
Right.
That's what I think. That's what they meant.
Sure. So the non-big billboards in the middle of India that are
Yeah.
promoting an Indian film with paintings of yourself, I get that part. But then how did you decide that this was the one you were going to use your energy for?
I didn't want Hindi movies, and I don't think working in Hollywood and Bollywood should be mutually exclusive. I never wanted it to be that way. It was never a choice for me. But Quantico itself just like took such a long time because it was shot about 11 months in a year.
Right.
So I didn't have time to do features. I happened to I squeezed in Isn't It Romantic because it was a supporting part, so I could do it, and I finished it off really quickly. Baywatch I shot in between Quantico and flying from New York to Miami, which both producers were really sweet and figured out for me. In fact, even Bajirao Mastani, I shot the end of it during Quantico, so it was very hard to do a full-fledged feature.
Right.
So as soon as Quantico was done, I was like, I want to do a film in Hindi because I haven't done one for such a long time. Loss in general, everyone's lost someone. Everyone's lost someone who's close to you, but that's what I loved about it. That it was her take on death that I found really interesting.
Right.
Because that was something that we did when my dad passed. My dad was like always big personality, gregarious laughter, and I couldn't mourn his death because he would have hated that. So we celebrated it. We celebrated his life.
Mm-hmm.
We had his favorite band during his chauta. We had at the house we had the music that he used to love, foods that he used to love, and we remember him as that. And I was so fascinated that she also dealt with death in a way like that this was more than just a movie for me, and that's why I decided I wanted to come on as a producer as well, because I believe in it on many, many levels.
Right. And so with that, the producing side of things, how are you evaluating how you're going to attach the Purple brand to?
I've done a lot of Purple Pebble pictures, which are regional productions. We've done about 9 now already, but I've never attached myself as an actor to any of my films because I wanted my production company to stand alone on its own feet, outside of me. So while I was looking for a Hindi film, I asked Sid Roy Kapoor, whose first production this is as well, by the way, alone. And I asked him, I was like, I believe in it so much that I want to take on the role as a producer because I know I'll be able to, give you guys the perspective of being able to push it as much as possible. And he was extremely excited about it. We've already done, as an actor, I've done about 5 films with Ronnie and Sid. So we had a relationship that goes all the way back to fashion. And so we talked about it, and I guess they felt great about the idea. And for me, Purple Pebble Pictures as a company attaches itself to films that stand for something in a way, which entertainment I feel which doesn't mean that it has to have every film has to have moral of the story or a social responsibility.
Are you nervous at all about this film being the first one after marriage, that your husband's going to see?
He's seen it.
Oh, he's seen it.
Oh, yeah,
What was the reaction?
He saw the first cut of the movie. He cried. He was very, very proud. He made me FaceTime Shonali immediately. He spoke to Shonali because he was also on set, so he's a little invested in the movie himself. But he really, really was. He's extremely supportive and very proud of the movie. But Is it my first movie after I got married?
I hope so, because that's the question I asked.
And you shot, yeah.
But I shot. Yeah, I shot this while I was getting married.
During, right before and after.
And it's my first credit as
Yeah.
my married name as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So monumental.
First credit as producer in a Hindi film. So many.
And so now you have people like Mindy and Lily, etc., who look up to you and they see the empowerment that you've given them, and everyone's successful in this realm. But I do have to ask you, are you thinking about what else needs to be done from the female empowerment standpoint, where you're just like, this is just the beginning? Are you working, for instance, within your production company to hire more on that side? I've just heard rumors about this, or murmurs. I just want your stance on it.
What needs to be done when it comes to empowering females? Everything. I mean, we're not even at the tip of the iceberg. We've just started a conversation right now. It's for the first time in a really long time that opportunities are being created for women everywhere. Not just in film and entertainment, but in business, in technical, in all the technical vocations as well. So I feel like this is the first time women are being. We always had a voice. We're being heard now.
Right.
And we're being taken seriously. And there's a lot that needs to be done where we don't ask the question that is female empowerment even required? Or you're a female filmmaker or a female athlete. I think we need to become genderless in terms of how we even speak about females in whatever profession they're in. And that's going to take a really long time. Just like we don't question, oh, he's an athlete,
Sure.
he's a journalist,
Yeah.
but we say it's a female journalist or a female
Sure.
director. And that, I think, and I'm using that as an example to just show the subliminal messaging that has been created by society, which you and I, even though we might consider ourselves super progressive, might not even think about.
Mm-hmm.
But I want that for, the next generation of kids and the generation after that, where they don't have to worry about it. So there's a massive amount that needs to be done by everyone.
Right.
I, as a female, am absolutely doing it. I want to be the conduit for other women to success. I want to succeed. I want to be the shoulders that they stand on, because women will do that for each other. But it's also really, really important for men to be on the bandwagon and create those opportunities. It makes me extremely proud that my father was a feminist, that my husband is a feminist, and even my co-producers right now, who I work with, champion women without even making a big deal
Right.
out of it. It's just they're championing filmmakers who happen to be female.
Sure.
And that's the kind of world to create.
And I'll tell you, you're succeeding at it. I know we don't have a lot of time, but you're succeeding at it in the fact that my 13-year-old didn't understand what the big deal was that you were leading Quantico. She thought, oh, that's just a good talent doing something. Why is everybody
I
making
love
such a
that.
big deal? And that made me feel a little good, but at the same time, I had to tell her the whole story about why it was. You have an affiliation in Bumble in India, is that true?
Yes, I'm an investor, not in India, I'm an investor in
Oh.
Bumble in general.
I apologize.
But we brought Bumble into India because I just thought that I was so fascinated by Bumble as a model. First of all, I think it's amazing that it's a female-driven company, and Whitney's the founder, and she came out of Tinder, wasn't it? She worked for Tinder before?
She was a co-founder in Tinder.
Yeah, she was a co-founder in Tinder and came out and was like, you know what? Girls need to swipe right. They need to get the first option. And I was like, why hasn't anyone thought of that?
Right.
And then to be able to give women the opportunity to make the first move is so empowering. And to take that back to India was just, we were sitting at dinner and I just told her, I was like, we need to take this to India. And we talked about it, and Bumble, to incorporated cultural adjustments to Bumble India as well. Like in terms of also safety. You can only use your first initial, like everyone, their photo accreditation has been done. So a lot of things like that.
Gosh, what a world.
It is, but listen, I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I understand that, and we're doing the best at Bumble that we can to make sure that that doesn't happen. And hopefully that doesn't mean you can't stop living. But I just love that Bumble gives women the opportunity to make the first move. It's so empowering. On their terms.
I know we got to wrap, so I'm going to ask you this one last question about, it says you have homes in LA, New York, and Mumbai, and you're traveling constantly between them. What do you love about your nomadic lifestyle, and what do you do to make each place feel like home?
Well, I have lots of pictures in my houses. I have a replication of like the things that my toiletries in each home, so that whenever I go, I don't have to carry that stuff, which I know is going to be constant. But what I love about my nomadic life is that I'm not really attached to anything. I can pick up a suitcase, go anywhere, settle in, and find resources to make it a home.
Right.
So that's the good thing about it. But the bad thing about it is I can never find where my shoes are. So suppose I want to wear my red boots while I was in New York, and I'm like, where the hell are those boots? They're in the LA house. Or I left them in Mumbai last time. That is an issue.
It's wardrobe issues.
Wardrobe issues.
Listen, congratulations once again. I know that you love Toronto and Toronto loves you.
I do love
But
Toronto.
being a family guy, watching this movie was both rewarding and heartbreaking. And I want to congratulate you because I think you've done another fantastic job.
Thank you so much, Mohit. That means so much. It means so good to see you.
Yeah.